Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, Magnetic Reversal News, Sacred Geography, and Shinrin Yoku, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Monday, December 4th, around 9 p.m. Mountain Time 2023. The coronal hole stream was less than to be seen. Take a look at this. The auroral activity is sparse, and that has a lot to do with the angle that it was facing. Yeah. The interplanetary magnetic field was pointing mostly north, essentially canceling the event. Keep calm. It's boom time. New England winter storm dumps over a foot of snow and knocks out power to more than 30,000 people. Heavy, wet snow falling across parts of Maine, northern New Hampshire, and northern Vermont and northern New York on Monday. Snowfall rates could exceed 1 inch per hour through the morning commute, particularly in Maine. We'll show you some of those totals as of this morning. And the Colorado snowstorm dumped 40 plus inches in some of the ski resorts. Ski areas get much needed snow, and that's a ho, ho, ho. Shut up, Al. Get in your hole. Al Gore is not happy with those totals. And there were even some significant snow totals from Monday morning's storm in Maine. It's insane. Take a look at Wrangley, 12.2 inches, Newry, 11.6, and Augusta coming in at 8 inches. The power outages earlier today showing 22,000 without power in Maine, 13,000 in Illinois. If we refresh those numbers, you can see that has all recovered. Vermont is the big winner with just 5,000 people without power, and Maine down to 3,555. Here is the snowfall analysis over the last 72 hours of powers. And you can see the big winner chicken dinner is the West Coast, west of the Rockies, picking up the most snow. Huge totals out here in the Olympics, 3-4 feet in some areas. And if we take a look at New England, as of early this morning, many regions with 8 inches or more. And the snow continues to fall. Heavy precipitation in the Northwest, indeed, with heavy snow diminishing across New England. Multiple rounds of heavy, excessive rainfall, mountain snow, and gusty winds will impact the Northwest U.S. into the central and northern Rockies this week. Urban, small stream, and moderate to isolated major river flooding are also expected across the Cascades through midweek. Meanwhile, the heavy snow threat across the Northeast will finally diminish this evening. And let's take a look at those snowfall totals for the evening. You can see here just another inch or two for many of those regions in the Northeast. A small clipper coming through the Great Lakes region here as heavy snow dumps on British Columbia and into Alberta. This takes us through Thursday, where that next system is going to be moving its way through the Rockies in the U.S. Thursday, Friday, here's your Saturday and Sunday. Should be a fun day for Northern Mich. And Tuesday, Wednesday, and so on and so forth. Heavy snow predicted as we approach Christmas. And it looks like a white Christmas for many in the U.S. And Europe seems to be no different, with the global warming goodness slathering the region. Wintry blast in Europe has brought record snow and bitter cold. It's one of Europe's snowiest starts of winter in years. München is digging out from a December record 17 inches, while severe cold and snow hit Russia. In fact, temperatures in Siberia dipped to minus 56 Celsius as record snow blankets Moscow. That's freezing. Holy macaroni. Temperatures in parts of Siberia plummeted to minus 56 degrees Celsius, which is about minus 70 degrees Fahrenheit on Monday, while blizzards blanketed Moscow in record snowfall and disrupted flights as winter weather swept across Russia. Moscow shatters its daily record. Moscow broke the daily snowfall record on Sunday, where nearly 11 millimeters of precipitation fell in just 12 hours, according to meteorologists. And that brings us over to a massive hailstorm smashing Australia. The opposite side of the pond, or hemisphere, we should say. Australia is heading into summer, and what a bummer. Australians have been warned to brace themselves for another week of wild weather as hailstorms and a potential cyclone batter the East Coast. And this is just not like any other hail. This is some significant, large, and very dangerous hail. Holy macaroni.
Country town with golf ball-sized hail creating backyard blizzards. Locals locking themselves inside, careful not to get caught in the crossfire of these icy projectiles.
Oh, that looks Gympie, Queensland.
It just pummeled down and the wind picked up and it poured.
Trapped inside your car, parked out in the open, the last place you'd want to be during a storm like this.
Oh, my cruiser. Oh, no.
The Bureau of Meteorology classifies giant hail as anything larger than 5 centimetres.
And we've had reports of up to 10 centimetres, 10 centimetre size hail around Gympie.
And if seeing is believing, take a look at this. Hail
Holy
almost as big
macaroni.
as a water bottle. Some brave enough to leave their shelter and collect proof of the freak storm. Others caught off guard, now facing a clean-up.
So it looks like major hail striking Australia as the predicted enlarged hail worldwide continues. So strap on your helmets. More hail coming. Geologists remember the 1882 earthquake known as Colorado's Big One. This is a significant event. Happened back in the 7th of November of 1882. And this baby, well, let's just blow it up here. Take a look. Affected everywhere from Denver north to Laramie in Wyoming, and with a shake region of 6. Which would have seen on the periphery of this like a 5 magnitude earthquake in all of those regions. So the largest earthquake ever recorded in Colorado wasn't really a big one. Seismic update, no quakes of note. Some low-level rumblers up to 5 magnitude in the Philippines, which is good news. We don't have any more major volcanic outbursts. This could spell trouble here, a 5.1 in Turkey. I'm sure some homes collapsed with that one, only at 6.5 kilometers depth. And that brings us over to the Reykjanes Peninsula as we're waiting for an imminent eruption north of Grindavik. Seismicity is low, but there was a small swarm in the last 24 hours as our eyes stay on the prize. Mount Merapi, not Merapi, Marapi, different volcanoes. There's Merapi and Merapi, both very close together. But the one that exploded to 50,000 feet yesterday has, in fact, killed many of the hikers that filmed their own demise. 11 hikers killed, as 12 are still missing. Many of them, fortunately, were rescued. And here is more activity from Merapi in western Sumatra, not to be confused with Merapi, which also erupted today. Can you believe that? 11 fatalities following the mass explosion. And looks like some low-level activity today. And that brings us to Merapi in Java, Indonesia. This is a different volcano, much more explosive, but large block and ash flows created billowing ash plumes today. What are the odds of that? Nevado de Ruiz to 20,000, Sangay to 20,000, Sabancay to 27,000, Santo Huito to 14,000, Ibu to 7,000 feet, Shivalush puffing and passing today, Popo to 20,000. And there we are. There is still some volcanic ash advisories in the area of Merapi, which is not Merapi, if that couldn't be more confusing. Now, the coronal hole stream update. The anticipated coronal hole stream is here. It's been here for over 12 hours. However, it is yet to generate a geomagnetic storm. The solar wind speed is just near 550 kilometers per second. We can take a look at this. We can even refresh it. Still hovering at 550. No significant perturbations. No significant aurora. Just a low-level KP4 event. And a fizzle. And this all has to do with the interplanetary magnetic field, or the IMF, which has been mostly pointing north. This condition is known to suppress activity, which is not great news for aurora sky watchers. Now, is it? Despite this, a geomagnetic storm watch will remain in effect for at least the next 12 hours, as there is almost no activity happening. College Station coming in at KP1, KP2 over here, and just low-level geomagnetic activity. And this coronal hole, albeit large, seems to be a fizzle. The world's biggest nuclear fusion reactor just came online. What could go wrong? especially the fact that this is in Japan. The world's biggest experimental nuclear fusion reactor that some have predicted may produce a giant black hole and suck the entire Milky Way galaxy into it, but that probably won't happen, has gone online. This technology is in its infancy, but billed by some as the answer to humans' future energy needs. Now, fusion differs from fission, the technique currently used in nuclear power plants, by fusing two atomic nuclei instead of splitting one. The goal of this reactor, the JT60SA, is to investigate the feasibility of fusion as a safe, large-scale, and carbon-free source of net energy, with, in fact, more energy generated on the end result than is put into producing it. And this could be a game changer. What say you? Black hole in Japan? And that's a boom to knowledge. Please share this video as we are shadow banned and we need your help to grow. Become a Patreon, support the work we do. We love you. Be safe. And that is a boom.